So I want to tell the chairwoman of the Appropriation Committee that I actually very much appreciate her work, and I actually trust her to do the right thing. But we got this bill last night at 9 o'clock. It's a 500-page bill, and it has multiple levels of authorizations in it that we found so far. Authorization on an appropriation bill. It has what I would consider, and we haven't been completely through it, some things that are totally counterintuitive to where we find ourselves today in terms of spending money. And before I could grant a unanimous consent, and I will, as soon as we get through with the bill, I plan on granting unanimous consent. But I want to know, we just heard the majority leader say he can't understand why somebody wants to read this bill. We're talking excess of $1 trillion. That's one of the problems. One of the reasons we're $17 trillion in debt is people don't read the bills. So I have, and I also want to say to my friend from Alabama, I have greatest praise for you. You know some of the heartburns that I have in this, but we knew that was coming from the House. But to not allow us the time to assess what you have produced by being able to read and study the bill is really going against the best traditions of the Senate, but it's also going against common sense. How do we know whether we want to offer amendments unless we've been able to read the bill? Are we just to blindly say whatever you want to do, we're going to approve it because we have a deadline at the end of this month? You know, I'm willing to do what is necessary to make sure we get a continuing resolution. But I'm not willing to do that blindly. And so I'm going to study this bill. We've got 3 members, staffs working full time. We have had since last night, investigating, looking at this bill. And I won't go into the details of the things we've seen so far, but we at least ought to have the opportunity before we're rushed into granting unanimous consent to go forward. And I plan on allowing that. But I'm not going to allow it until I know what the agreement's going to be in terms of amendments, and whether or not, even if we've read the bill and have some good ideas, whether or not we're going to be allowed to offer them. This is an appropriation bill. We ought to be allowed to offer amendments with our ideas on ways to save this country money and increase its efficiency and increase its effectiveness and still meet the deadline that the chairwoman outlined. So I hope you will understand why we're not in any mood to right now to grant it until we've actually know what we're talking about. And to ask anything less of us, you're asking us to deny the very oath that we took when we came here. So with that, I would yield the floor and thank my colleague John McCain for being down here.
Senator from Arizona.
Mr. President, I intend to object along with the senator from Oklahoma, and I think he made the case. I would remind my colleagues that a week ago,